Starbucks. Let's go. Good boy. Stripe came out of the garage. Hi, bud. Hello. Oh, big stretch. Big stretch. Morris has gotten really better in the last few days. I got in a good pet, head to tail several times. Didn't back up. It was good. So Donna and I were up at 5:30. I had a message on my phone from Johnny reminding me that it's a teacher work day today, not in parenthesis for the high school. And it's virtual English day. English class is at 9. That's a college class. So I think that means he has to be downtown at 10 for calculus. And virtual in the car from 9 to 10 for English. So I think we're leaving at 9 this morning. It's currently just going on 6:30. So I've got some time back this morning that I didn't know I was going to get. And unfortunately not with my eyes closed. Well, I really have enjoyed the piece of forsythia that's blooming, the yellow bells in the yard this year. It's gotten tall enough to do something. I have to see what I can do to help the second one catch up to the first one. It's in the 40s. It's supposed to go up to about 61 today. I haven't looked at the latest forecast for how cold it's going to get this weekend, but I presume we are still going to have a surge of cold air coming south. Maybe it won't be as bad as they originally forecast, though. That often is the case. It's 7:30. I've got at least an hour before we leave, so I'm going to start working on the bag 13, step 357. There's a bunch of bricks that go in here that I should have and be able to put on. I did order some stuff last night. You know, I've had 80% of the bricks for this thing, and then the other 20% was specialty parts, like I didn't have these pink things I needed to order. But I may have to swap out this color. This medium lavender does not come in the double convex larger corner pieces I need for here and here. And there's really no way around fixing that except for to swap to a color that those are available, and that might be going back to dark red. But right this minute I'm not going to fool with it because it's easy. It'd be pretty easy to lift that off and swap it out. I might count red though this morning and make sure I have dark red in all the sizes I think I need to complete it. I made progress. These two sides are nearly identical, so I was trying to build them at the same time. I'm missing some more parts. These are colors I use all the time, so grays, dark gray, light gray, 1x2s, 1x6s. So I gotta go order some parts. That's kind of frustrating. And I'm out of these ridged parts, although they were ordered a day or two ago. So Johnny needs to charge his Chromebook in the car. Ego to the rescue. Our ETA is 9:50 a.m. That's pretty much perfect. Ruby says it's 46, and as you can see, it's dry but gray. I got Johnny dropped off okay. It's just after 10. He'll be in class calculus until around 11, and he warned me that health class could last 5 minutes or an hour, so I might need to pick him up around 11:15. That's likely. I'm going to call Crabtree Lego store and ask them a question about the minifigures, the Easter minifigures I'm looking for, see if they have them. But before I do that, there's an interesting article, excuse me. The Wall Street Journal is reporting electric vehicles have a fuel efficiency problem. Number one, I want to know what I can't even come up with a word I'm allowed to say. What kind of information they have now, I was going to say crap, that's about as nice as I could say, about electric cars that they would want to spew for the gas and oil companies and ICE car vehicle makers to try to get people not to buy electric now. And then the other thing is, well, it's really not a fuel efficiency, it's a driving efficiency, a MPGE. kind of a thing. I don't know. That just seems to be a really funny title to me, but I'm not clicking because I'm just pretty much done. I mean, obviously, why would that article appear today in the Wall Street Journal except unless they were trying to scare people off of driving electric, and I'm not helping them do that. That happens to me on my Facebook feed, but I'm sure it's in the Apple News feed and the Google News feed, but I'm not clicking because I don't want to know that bad. I don't want to help them. I don't want to do that. I did see an article this morning that I clicked on. I'm not sure I'm happy that I clicked on it. I don't remember what publication it was in, saying that the title was something to the effect of NASA has asked SpaceX not to launch any more Starlink satellites. And it's the article turned out to be there was a scientist that sent a letter, I don't remember, Congress, SpaceX, NASA, whatever, saying that we can't see into space good enough because of all these Starlink satellites. And that's not the first time people have questioned debris in space blocking the pretty pictures, which I support the pretty pictures, by the way, but not the way some of these emails or concerns are brought to light. And the other thing was we won't be able to see near-Earth objects. We won't be able to see any O's because of Starlink. Well, you know, I don't ever get to see the night sky because I live, you know, near populated areas on the Earth, and it's, you know, there's so much light pollution. And I do understand there are a few places left where you could go, like people usually go to Jordan Lake around here if they want to try to do astronomy from the ground. Not too many, lot less light out there. It's not near, it's far enough away from Apex and Cary and not too close to Asheboro, and it just, they have good luck out there. They have a club. You know, I mean, I get it. And there's so many things we could do in our cities to use different kinds of lights that would point at the ground instead of leak light pollution up into the sky, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I get it. But we do have the ability to take pictures from space. So if we're really that worried about NEOs or really that worried about taking pictures for research, then we need to have it on a satellite, which we already have, Hubble, or we need to have it on the moon, or, you know, I'm sure there are alternate things that we can do. That is not a reason to keep internet away from the masses or stop SpaceX and Starlink from what they're trying to do. Or, you know, I know some people have this thing about worried about space debris, but those satellites are so small they burn up in the atmosphere, so they're not really going to be generating a ton of space debris. I didn't say none, but it's not as bad as you think it is. A, the size, B, they're meant to burn up on re-entry. And then the other thing is, so SpaceX, I think it said, has a permit for N number more. I think it was 30,000 or something, but of course that's not all they want to put up. They'd have to go back to the FCC for more. So you can just bet, because it's a good thing for mankind. I firmly believe it's more good than bad. Elon's involved in it. They're at the top as far as their ability to launch things and keep space missions running and everything. You know they're going to be targeted. So these hit pieces on making the American public think that they're creating all the space junk and, you know, not preventing us from being protected and all these other things, you can just bet your bottom dollar that there will be more articles along those lines trying to stop the additional expansion of the Starlink network. You can just bet, because there's a lot of money to be lost too from the fiber and ground, you know, traditional cable and satellite companies. I mean, if really you want fiber, or you want, it's faster, right? It's going to be faster, maybe 5G. I don't know, but you know, it was not meant for me at my house wanting to upload 50 gigabytes of data a day to use Starlink. That's not what it was there for, right? But in more remote spots in the US or abroad where people didn't have a good upload or download speed, where they really needed a better solution than what they currently had, it could be a great solution for them. So I don't know. I think, you know, Dawn has used the word in our videos before about the internet divide, and anything that we can do to give people access to the internet so that they're not lost out there, whether that be American school students that are trying to keep up with their peers during a pandemic, or that somebody in the far reaches of somewhere that, you know, was trying to better themselves and needs access to information, education, technology, science, data, then, you know, I think that that's admirable that Elon's trying to bring that. So But you, like I said, you can bet. Another thing too was SpaceX has changed the way they paint those satellites so they don't provide quite so much reflection back to Earth. So I guess some of the satellites in the night sky, like I have Night Sky app configured to let me know when the ISS goes overhead, and I had to stop the SpaceX satellite Starlink stuff because they're so frequent. It was too many notifications, right? But the ISS is a bigger thing, and sometimes it's fun to go out and go, oh yeah, there it is overhead. If you haven't ever done that, you should do it at least once. Oftentimes the weather guys will let people know when the car just shut off and the wheel kind of locked. Move my wrist. The weather guys sometimes will let us know when it's going to be more overhead than at an angle, and when it's going to be up there for 5 or 10 minutes. So it's like you really have a chance to go out, look straight up anywhere you are and see the ISS. It's kind of cool. Everybody should do it at least once. But that's what's happening with the news today. I'm never happy about the news. And it's not just the news itself that I'm not happy about. I'm not happy about journalists, and I'm liable to keep on, you know, as long as our news is strictly on how many clicks, how much advertising money I can sell, and who's willing to fund which political views, I'm just not too interested. So the short answer from the Lego store is no yellow duck and no pink bear, no Easter themed minifigures in yet. I had heard the middle of the month, middle of March, and I know it's not quite the middle yet. So I'll try back. I don't know what days they get their stuff in, but this is something that would not be for sale online. The build a minifigure and the where you can go buy like the pre-put together 3-packs are pretty store specific. So if you want those items, you pretty much have to show up at a store, which we're lucky to have a store, and I'm sure they will get these items. It's just that I've seen them and I want them. So having to wait has been, well, I don't want them to sell out, because they will. What happens is, you know, people that want to resell them for a upped price will go in and buy them up. Although I think they put a limit last time I was in there on the really hot ones that you could only buy 2. But, you know, somebody sends their friend in, or they come back the next day, or they come back a few hours later. I mean, you know, these people, if they want to buy them up, they're going to figure out a way to buy them up. So, hopefully, I'm sure the stores are doing the best they can to spread out amongst, you know, people coming in. Because it's, people come in to buy it, it's better for them if they find what they want, right? Versus some internet seller came in and bought 10, and now there's none left for anybody else. But I'll keep trying. I'm not driving to Crabtree this morning. I kind of talked myself out of having quite enough time. So I think I'll drive around historic Oakwood and just look for a few pretty houses and pretty pictures or something maybe. It'll be my luck today. I'll stay pretty close, and the health class will go till noon. But it is what it is. And Michelle and I are not able to meet up today. It's partly my schedule, partly her schedule. We had thought we were going to do something a little different today than Guardian Angel, but that kind of didn't happen. So for sure next week. And I'm probably going to try to pop over to Guardian Angel once I get back home and drop Johnny off. Won't be the full 3-hour tour like it would be with Michelle, but I'll stop in to see if there's any Legos.
Now, but its crew
Tycon.
is enjoying the spectacle of the chase.
It's 11:35 and Johnny's ready. I just ended up sitting here listening to my book, playing Pokemon Go, looking at Lego stuff, and a few other things, the news. But I'm going to go get him, and we'll head back to Fuquay. So over the last day or two, that message has popped up. I think I remarked on it the other day. I obviously don't have any driving visualization issues right now. I just have a erroneous message. There's a Model X on the left. And I noticed yesterday afternoon that I couldn't pause basically as I was pulling into the garage, I couldn't pause the music from the scroll wheel or increase or lower the volume. And that's persisted today, and I kind of ignored it. But I pulled back over at St. Monica after picking up Johnny, and I tried to do a reboot, and since the scroll wheels aren't working, I can't reboot either. And I did a power off and a power on from the safety screen, But you know, that doesn't do a whole lot, I don't think, unless you exit the car, leave the door open, and wait some amount of time. I don't know exactly what the right amount of time is, but anyway, I have no scroll wheel function. I saw a Tesla Motors forum append where this happens to a variety of S and X vehicles. I don't know if it's happened to 3s and Ys because it's different. But in some of the cases, Tesla threw hardware at it and it worked for a while, but then didn't work again. And there seemed to be some consensus it's a software issue and hardware is not the problem in this case. One person said they switched the language and then when, you know, changed the language and then it started. Of course, changing the language does reboot the car. So, you know, I probably will pull back over a little farther out of town where there's a good spot, and I will try changing the language again, counting where English is this time before I do it, so I don't have to get lucky, because that does force a reboot on the car. And I know you can change the, I guess, the tire configuration also, and that causes a reboot. So I'm going to try one of those. Ruby does still have her service appointment for Monday to get upgraded cameras, so I don't know. I also don't have a horn. This has happened and I don't have a horn. The motor forum suggested that I try the horn, and I did, and it doesn't do anything. So I've never seen that before. I have had the scroll wheels occasionally stop working from time to time, every once in a while, for a drive, and then they started back up again, and so no harm, no foul. But I do not want anything to be wrong with Ruby. She's been so solid. Yeah, and I can still go into autopilot, no problem. Even though I still have the driving visualization impaired message. Because like I told you, I really don't think that's a valid message right now. I mean, Ruby may not be spotless, but there are no impaired cameras. There's just not. All right, so language is under display. And touchscreen language. And Johnny said, just do Spanish, Mom. We can read that. It's going to require a system restart. Yes, baby. And when all else fails, change the tire configuration or change the car language. Okay, so Pasados. Now look, I've had 3 years of high school Spanish and that's it. Johnny's had 2 or 3 years of high school Spanish and that's it. But it is rebooting the car. All right. So let's see. You know, I'm going to switch it back. It's going to, hang on. No, that doesn't seem to have done anything. My message went away up here, though. My message went away up there. You going to put it back for me, Johnny?
Sure. How?
It's under display. Yeah. English is the first one in this case. All right. Like I said, that appeared to have gotten rid of my camera message, but I don't think it fixed my scroll wheel. It's going to start playing again. Well, here it says pause, but then down here it doesn't. But does the horn work? Nope. See? Didn't fix it. Dang. Hey, Stripe! Hi! I'm fixing to take off. You should probably jump down. I was in here for a minute doing something and he hopped up. Yes, you should probably go. I don't want to scare him. More chance he'll scratch something. He's a pretty boy. But not on Ruby would be better. I'll take a few minutes and go through Little Angel. What a treasure. Historic picture, frame, rounded domed glass. To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under heaven. A time to plant and a time to uproot. A time to pull down and a time to build up. A time to weep and a time to laugh. A time for mourning and a time for dancing. A time to scatter stones and a time to gather them, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to seek and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to throw away, a time to tear and a time to mend, and it keeps on going, but it's really very endearing. He's cute, but I have one already that I like better. There's more to life than chocolate, but not much. Some of you will know where that's from. Probably not to be trusted in any store with a credit card, bookstores included. Kindness is contagious, smiles are too. Okay, one of you really smart people explain that to me, because I sure don't remember. It's a 3X or I'd get it for Johnny. It's way too big. Then adulting. So I got Michelle a couple of spooky shirts. One was a Jaws shirt, a shark shirt. And Johnny got a green rain poncho, but it's a Coleman one. It's like more jacket fitting than, you know, dress looking. And I got 3 pair of shorts to try. We'll see if I actually end up liking them. But at $1.99 a piece, I can take them home and try them, and I don't have to absolutely love them, right? Miss Laura was at the door and she said there's been a real uptick in shoplifting, and so now they're having to put people at the doors. That's really sad. I mean, I know times are hard for folks, but stealing isn't going to fix anything, and it could make your life a whole lot worse. And wow, that was disappointing to hear that. Just because the items are donated does not mean that it's acceptable to walk out with them without paying, obviously. And I'm sure Miss Laura will press charges if somebody does the wrong thing. So anyway, that was what was up here today. Miss Michelle, obviously. I am really missing Ruby's ability to pause my book and all that good stuff, you know, the volume and everything else. I'm really missing it. So I thought when you changed the wheel configuration, it rebooted the car too. Well, it made it, okay, so it is rebooting the car. My foot's also on the brake. I thought I'd try this method just to see if it made a difference. I'm not particularly hopeful, but probably. One could say, well, Marianne, why didn't you do that after you got back home? Why are you doing it in the parking lot? Well, I'm really not worried about her not rebooting. I just think she's going to reboot, and I'm probably going to be in the same predicament. Well, she better come back now. There we go. I wasn't nervous or anything. I wasn't. I'll let her come all the way up before I find out that it's still indeed not working. Everybody asked for Michelle in there today. They all missed her too. Alright, put in the pin. I got my seatbelt on so it won't make a ton of noise. It's waiting to acquire LTE, which takes just a minute longer. Reset is complete. Pressure monitor sensors were reset. That's the first time, obviously, I've ever changed the tire configuration because I've never changed the tires. Let's go over to, well, it should be on my book if it connects up. Did it connect to my phone? Yeah, it's connected. I don't know how to make my iPhone say Marianne's iPhone. It used to say, you know, the old phone said Marianne's iPhone. If somebody knows how to tell me to do that. I mean, I think it's on my phone, but it says Marianne Miller. I don't know. Okay, I have LTE now. I have unplugged the dash cam earlier just in case the USB thumb drive was causing a problem, because, you know, that happens from time to time. So if I push this, normally my book would start playing. And you can see I'm moving my finger, but it's not, so it didn't do anything. All right, now let me put the wheels back. It was worth a shot. You know, this is what I had changed it to, and it's not giving me the names like you would expect, because I don't have Slipstream. Well, maybe that's what mine were, Silver Slipstream. What was this one? Silver Helix. Okay, I guess those are Ruby's wheels. And it's going to reboot again. We got to be back in an hour and 15 minutes, no pressure. It's right at 4 o'clock, and I've got to leave for Taekwondo at 5:15.
Yeah, and I get home, I get to do my time card for the week. I'm done.
Well, that's good.
Well, I didn't have time to do it before.
Right, he often wait. Well, and that way too, if you get one last phone call, you don't have to redo it or something.
Right.
And Don, you know, obviously does not count the walk time. It's just a matter of going in and doing the time work paperwork. It's not like a punch card thing at the grocery store where you bag groceries and you have to clock the clock. I've got 15 minutes. I'm good. I'm not late. I should be able to pull up in time. Plus it take me 5 minutes to walk the hill and 5 minutes or less to drive to the house. Don's being a good boy and he's running. I got Johnny dropped off at Taekwondo. Notice they're starting to put the top on the rounded edge up there. Decoration. Johnny's off to his father's house for the weekend. He'll be back Sunday night. And let's see. Notice I'm coming through old downtown because I was not waiting in that left turn lane up there. Big old pickup truck came beside me in the turn lane, or I would have filmed it up there, but he stayed back a plenty. And also when he pulled up, it was already past the cars turning from the direction of Walmart. I have a motorcycle behind me. I'm sure he'll be glad when I'm out of his way, although I'm going over the speed limit right now.